Welcome to the Plant Examination Series. In this series, we will be taking a look at a native plant native to Prague, which is where I live. We will be using some tools to examine and take a closer look at the selected plant. Today, I will be using tweezers, a flashlight, some scissors, a ruler. This ruler measures from 0 to 15. I will be also spraying the various plant parts with some rose water in order to keep them fresh as we examine it. Now it's time to look at the plant itself. Today's plant is the garlic mustard plant. Here it is in all its glory. As you can see, it is quite a long plant, and I picked a medium-sized variety. The stem is a bit curvy, and it has one branch going off of it, which is a smaller replica of this larger branch. From the bottom, we can observe several leaves. There's one here, one over here, another big one over here, another big one right here. Then there are some medium-sized leaves. The medium ones are right here, and the second one over here. The small leaves are 2 on the branch that is secondary, and 3 below. 1, 2, 3. Now let us examine the plant. Oh, I forgot to mention, actually, that these pointy bits are in fact the fruit of this plant. The fruit of the plant is what bears the seeds that are necessary for the plant to propagate. There are thousands of seeds inside these pots, and when the plant is ready, it spreads them all around. Now, as we dissect this plant, do not be sorry for it, because it is only native to some parts of the world, while in North America and Canada, it is considered to be an invasive species. And so, in fact, the best thing that you can do with this lovely garlic mustard is to put it to the purpose for which it was brought to North America in the first place, which was to use it in cooking. When the plant is young, that is to say, when it has not yet flowered, and here we can observe the flowers are already starting to fall, so it has passed its prime. But before it has flowered, you can use these leaves in cooking. There are plenty of recipes available online. By foraging this invasive species, you will be able to lend a helping hand in the efforts to eradicate this invasive plant in the forests of North America and Canada. Now it is time to start dissecting it. For this, we will use the scissors. We will start by removing this bottom leaf. And now we will clip these smaller leaves right here. Next, we will clip this large leaf. Next, these smaller leaves. What about this leaf next? this water each leaf so that it does not wilt as we examine it. We will start with the medium leaves. Now the next one. The third medium leaf. Now we will do this large row of leaves. This next leaf is a bit tattered already. Now we will do these two small leaves attached to a stem. These next two very small ones are next. And now we have these small 3 leaves left. First, second, and third. Let's start with the third. This middle, bigger one of the 3. And the last one. Alright, now before these leaves wilt, I will need to take some photographs of each one. There's the photograph of the front. And we also need the back. Wonderful. Next leaf. Front. And back. Now the top row. And also the back. Second one. It's time for the third one. And now the back. Going to put it back now. Now let's do the very small leaves. I might have to use the tweezers for these. We could do them all at once. Now let's turn them over. These two do not need to be photographed. Next, why don't we measure them and record their measurements? These measurements can be used later when we want to make sure that we've correctly identified a species. However, the shape of these leaves and the white flowers that are usually at the top of this plant, as well as these pointy bits, are really your best guide. Let's start with the smallest leaves. I'm using my tweezers. This leaf is about 1.8 centimeters. Oops, I'm sorry, leaf. I did not mean to treat you so roughly. In fact, I'm thinking it would be best to measure these leaves in situ. This leaf is about 2.8 centimeters. 2.8 centimeters. So 1.8, 2.8, and 2.8. Garlic mustard measurements. 3 times small leaves. 1.8 cm for centimeters. 2, 2.8, and 3 is also 2.8 centimeters. Now, let's measure the medium leaves so that our measurements are in order. This leaf measures about 4.5 centimeters. Let's start recording. Three times medium leaves. One is 4.5 centimeters. This one has a measurement of about 4.4 centimeters. And now we have this last one left. About 3.5 centimeters. These measurements we have in descending order. Last, but most certainly not least, we have the big leaves. .8 centimeters for the first big leaf. So we have 2 times big leaves. And this one was 5.8 centimeters. The next one. This is our tattered leaf. Let's be gentle with it. .5 centimeters. from our measurements, we can see that the leaves of this specific garlic mustard plant range from 1.8 centimeters to 5.8 centimeters. That is a range of 4 centimeters. Great. We have measured the leaves. Now, before I leave you, why don't you watch me as I prepare the leaves to be dried? I will dry these leaves and add them to my collection in a notebook of local plants. To prepare them, I will simply weigh them down with some metal marbles. We will use this big one for the biggest leaf. And we don't need these scissors anymore. This medium one will go to the leaf next to it. We'll use some more medium ones next. These small ones will be just right for the small leaves. Let's keep weighing down the leaves. A little piece of fluff. think we're all done. Oh, wait, I forgot a spot. And maybe one more here. Now, these leaves look nicely weighed down. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining me in examining the beautiful garlic mustard plant and its lovely